Good evening and thank you for joining us. Carly, you're looking at that archery stuff coming in there. It's sort of like a sign of spring. I mean, obviously they're still doing it indoors there, but it sort of seems to indicate they're going to be doing it outdoors at some point.
I know, that's a good way of looking at it. But it's neat, you know, we don't get to see too much of this all the time. We've been doing so much hockey lately. It was refreshing to get sort of a different sport and a different activity, and it's pretty fascinating. It's the kind of sport that you can do literally from any age. I've got a little girl in my story coming up, and she's gonna set you for a loop because you'd be surprised to see this little girl firing away.
Got some good aim, she does.
Yeah. Definitely popular sport. Anyways.
It really is.
Gerard, I guess you know, it certainly feels like spring out there. I know it's not that warm yet, but after the weather that we've had for the past 2.5 months, it seems pretty spring-like out there.
Yep. Yesterday was a very welcome break. I was out in it for at least an hour and a half, and I had no gloves on. I was fine, you know. So, yep, and lots of ice melting and stuff, so that there are a couple of sidewalks that have gotten back a little slick today. So if you've been and you notice that, you know, you got to watch your footwork and stuff, even for driving. But yes, guys, we're looking forward to it. We're thinking spring, we're feeling spring. Let's see what we're springing to in the weather this evening. +1, and we're at 80% humidity. The winds out of the west, they're gusting just a little at 28 to about 39 kilometers an hour. And let's see what we're looking at across the region in the Lakeland. They're getting some light snow still coming down. The Battlefords as well, some light rain too. But look at the temperatures, +1 just in the Lakeland, and -1 there. And actually, those are still, with the exception of the Battlefords, they actually got to +5 today. Those are still our high temperatures, all right? So we'll chat a bit more about what's coming up later on in the weather situation. Meantime, Jacob, back to you.
Lac-La-Biche RCMP have confirmed the identity of human remains found at a rural location on Friday. Authorities say the deceased is 34-year-old Roxanne Bigelow from Wandering River. 38-year-old Trevor Bombasell has been charged with second-degree murder and indignity to the body of his common-law wife, Roxanne Bigelow. Bombasell appeared in Lac-La-Biche Provincial Court this morning. Sunday morning around 7:30, Lac-La-Biche RCMP and EMS were called to a stabbing at a rural residence south of the town. Responders found a 28-year-old man with what appeared to be stab wounds, along with 4 other people at the home. The injured man was taken to the Lac-La-Biche hospital, then airlifted to an Edmonton hospital, but died later in the day. An autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow. Police say the name of the deceased is not being released because next of kin are still being notified. If you have any information about this or any other crime, please contact your nearest attachment or anonymously to Crime Stoppers. The operators of the incinerator in Wainwright recently made a public announcement that they are planning to build a newer, slightly larger incinerator to replace the one currently in operation. Some residents of the town are against the move and staged a protest at the facility this past Saturday. But there's more to this story, as we found out when we made the trip to Wainwright. Wainwright residents picketed the incinerator Saturday and then had a meeting afterwards, expressing concerns about the fact that biomedical waste is being burned.
What is in fact being burned? Are records in fact being manipulated to meet environmental emission standards when in fact the standards are being violated?
2 ex-employees of the facility are the ones making the claims about the records being manipulated, but this is the first time those concerns have been raised.
A lot is hearsay, and that's why we are trying to get the public support on this so that the appropriate independent people have a look and see.
However, the facility does have independent oversight. Relative accuracy tests, or RADAs, are performed on the emission sensors on a random but regular basis.
The RADAs are done by a third party, that stack tester, that's totally independent. It has nothing to do with the facility.
And Alberta Environment confirmed this, adding there are no outstanding or ongoing compliance issues with the worksite, which must meet extremely strict emission standards.
We also require that the facility have an independent third-party analysis done to determine if the monitoring equipment is accurate.
The medical waste received by the company includes discarded pharmaceuticals, and a trailer was recently broken into and some waste was disturbed, presumably by an individual searching for narcotics. The break-in prompted increased security and a revamp of company policy.
I said, okay guys, because of that incident, we're going to bring in a drug policy, and all of a sudden I don't know. I'm shocked. I thought it was a past employee that was disgruntled with me, and now I find out it's 2 of my present employees that just quit on me.
Those employees had several allegations about misconduct on the job site, including a claim that the facility's secondary burners were non-functional.
There's a lot of things that need to be in working order for this plant to be running right. In our first stage, if the fuel we're supplying the incinerator isn't keeping temperatures up. We're supposed to have auxiliary burners to bring the temperature up.
But Kress has a simple response to these and other allegations.
They work. I mean, we have them coming out, our mechanics come out of thing, but they're working. They're not true.
In an attempt to bring light to the issues, a pair of the picketers actually made off with some of the biomedical waste on Friday.
I was arrested yesterday by the RCMP for stealing garbage, I guess, handcuffed and fingerprinted for the first time, and along with another fellow businessman from Wainwright. But sometimes you have to make a point.
The fact that they were able to make off with it fairly easily does not change the fact that they committed theft.
It's a public facility. People do have access to the site. We go there to dump our garbage. That does not give you the right to walk into the buildings and take from the facility whatever you choose.
Alberta Environment plans to follow up on the allegations by inspecting the incinerator again. Several other incinerators in the province have been shut down in the past for not meeting emission guidelines, but the Wainwright facility remains open and has been burning medical waste and meeting standards for many years. For some residents, though, any medical waste is unacceptable, and they plan to fight the proposal to upgrade the facility. The Thorpe Recovery Centre received a huge cash injection today. A donation of $100,000 is another big step closer to their new facility.
To make a commitment like this is certainly amazing. That's $100,000 less that we will have to borrow for our new building. So every dollar that comes in is just a windfall for us.
Devon employees in Lloydminster rallied together and pushed to get the donation from their head office.
This was people in our local office here knew the work they did and probably had some friends that had gone through the center, and thought that would be a heck of a good place to put some money into. And since the expansion was going on, they brought it forward.
Opening of the new facility is slated for fall of this year. To date, they are short $700,000 of their $3 million goal. Featherstone says any donation is much appreciated.
It doesn't matter, how much it is. To many individuals, $10 or $20 is really no different than $100,000 to a major company. So, and it all helps.
And while the event isn't scheduled to take place for another couple months, this year's Relay for Life is already creating a buzz in the border city. As Jack Haskins explains, organizers were present at today's Rotary meeting to raise awareness for the upcoming fundraiser.
This will be the 11th year that Relay for Life has taken place in Lloydminster.
There is a reason for people to get involved. Obviously, usually most important is a loved one of some sort that has been affected by the disease. They've either lost their lives or they battled through it, and now we're there to honor them and to support them and keep it alive.
Relay for Life raised over $325,000 last year. Organizers are poised to build on the success from the 2010 campaign.
We've got the buy-in from everybody. They believe in the Relay for Life, and with a facility like Bud Miller Park, it allows everybody to come out for that one evening and just to share in the moment.
Fundraisers of this magnitude are hard to come by. The money raised in events like Relay for Life are essential for cancer research.
We will beat this disease. Survival rates are rising. Treatment is getting better. And that's all due to fundraising, to research, money that goes to research.
There are several ways for Border City residents to get involved in the event.
I just would really encourage people to come out and see the event, purchase a luminary, either in memory of someone who you've lost to cancer or in honor of our survivors or someone you know who has survived cancer. It's such a worthwhile cause and so important.
Relay for Life is set to get underway on May 27th. Jack Haskins, Newcap News.
Some environmentally conscious people made 90-second videos for a Lakeland College contest, and there were big prizes on the line. We'll have that story and more coming up after the break.